Hello there, Star Wars fans! Have you ever caught yourself swinging an imaginary lightsaber with your swooshing and buzzing sound effects? Admit it, we've all done it. It's a rite of passage for every Star Wars fan. But these iconic weapons are more than just excellent visuals and sounds. In the Star Wars universe, the lightsabers have meaning, especially regarding their colors. Each hue tells a unique story about the wielder's journey and personality, adding layers of legend to these futuristic swords. So today, let's dive into what these colors mean, from the wise Obi-Wan Kenobi to the conflicted Anakin Skywalker, and even to the sinister Darth Maul. Lightsabers have graced the hands of some of the most iconic characters. But did you know that these colors aren't just for show? With lightsabers being a symbol of the Jedi, Jedi are known for their unique lightsaber hues, each symbolizing their role and beliefs within the galaxy. A lightsaber isn't just any weapon. It's the ultimate sci-fi tool. It can deflect blaster shots and slice through almost anything like butter. And for those with enough skill, the Force can guide the blade, turning a lightsaber blade into a valid extension of the wielder's abilities. It's more than a weapon. It symbolizes mastery, courage, and the identity in the Star Wars galaxy. But before we continue, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, so you never miss what's happening in your favorite galaxy far, far away.
This is where the fun begins.
Now, over the decades, lightsaber construction has been accomplished by many different methods. There are differences in methods, crystals, and color meanings depending if we're looking at the current canon or legend continuity. Today, I won't focus as much on the construction side of things, as that can be its own whole video. And for the sake of today, we'll mostly just be looking at kyber crystals. Regardless, building a lightsaber isn't as simple as flipping a switch. There's a whole process behind it, and it all starts with the kyber crystal. These powerful crystals are essential to every lightsaber, but aren't just lying around. They are found in remote places like the planet Ilum, where mostly Jedi younglings, the Jedi in training, were sent to claim their lightsaber crystals. But just seeing a kyber crystal is only the beginning of the journey. This isn't just about picking a crystal off the ground. It's about bonding and shaping it with the Force. In the new canon, the Jedi must bond with the crystal. This can be seen as if the crystal chooses them, as depicted in Jedi Fallen Order when Cal Kestis sees his crystal call out to him. The crystal then takes place in the lightsaber's hilt, acting as a conduit or channel for the energy and power, giving the weapon its distinct focus. One of the most striking things about lightsabers is their vibrant glowing blades, and the color of these blades holds a lot of meaning. Lightsaber colors can vary based on the type of kyber crystals, the materials used in the hilt, and even the personality of the individual wielding it. A lightsaber's color tells a personal story about the individual, their connection to the Force, and the path they've chosen to walk. Each hue on lightsaber crystals, or blades, has a symbolic connotation related to a distinct quality or facet of the Force. All Jedi and other lightsaber users in the Star Wars universe, including Jedi Knights, Jedi Sentinels, and Jedi Temple Guards, make color choices that occasionally express their personalities, intents, and nature. Under the new canon, there seems to be less emphasis on lightsaber colors and their distinct meanings behind each one. Current canon is more loose with the colors in most cases, and we're still waiting for confirmation on if certain colors have the same meanings as before. In Legends, there were a lot more focus on lightsaber colors and what that meant about its wielder. I'll be discussing more of the Legends backstories with the colors, but we'll discuss some current canon details to make sure you learn everything you need to know. Since the inception of Star Wars, you've probably noticed some colors are more common than others. The most common lightsaber colors are blue and green, especially among Jedi. In Legends, around 4,000 BBY lightsaber focus crystals were used to indicate a Jedi's chosen class. But later on in the timeline, the distinction fell out of practice, with most Jedi using blue or green crystals from the Ulum caves, based on personal choice. But there is still much we can learn about those who chose the colors they did, and the path they chose. Blue is typically linked to qualities like truth, bravery, and calmness, and therefore would be associated with those called Jedi Guardians. A Jedi Guardian is a Jedi who uses the Force on a more physical level, and whose skills and talents lay in battle, as if a light side mirror of the Sith warrior. This is also my favorite lightsaber color, or what I would choose if I was a Jedi. Before becoming Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker wields the classic blue, representing his heroic, action-driven side. We can see this in the Clone Wars as Anakin thrives as a general and enjoys being on the front lines. We can also look at Obi-Wan. It's stated that he was not a gifted Force user at a young age. However, through rigorous training and discipline, Obi-Wan was able to become an absolute master of Form 3, also known as Sorisu. He became an expert in defense with his lightsaber and therefore a great general in the Clone Wars. Green, on the other hand, is all about wisdom, harmony, and growth. More thoughtful Jedi often wield it, as do those who seek balance and understanding in the Force. This is mostly associated with a Jedi Consular. This Jedi prefers to reflect on the mysteries of the Force and fight the dark side at its heart. You might recognize Luke Skywalker with his green lightsaber, showing off his connection to more profound wisdom as he matures as a Jedi. This can also be noted in Qui-Gon Jinn, a Jedi who had a deep connection to the Force and deeply believed in listening to the will of the Force. Also, we have Yoda, who was the Grand Master and most powerful Jedi in the Order at the time of its fall. But lightsabers aren't limited to just these two colors. Each hue has its own story, adding to the mystique and lore of Star Wars. Whether it's purple, yellow, or even the sinister red of the Sith, every lightsaber color carries significance in this galaxy far, far away. Red lightsabers are iconic in the Star Wars universe, instantly recognizable as the weapon of choice for the Sith and Dark Jedi. But have you ever wondered why red became their go-to color? It's not just because it looks intimidating. Red symbolizes the deep emotions that fuel the Sith's power: anger, determination, and raw aggression. Unlike the Jedi, who seek balance and peace, the Sith believe embracing dark emotions is the key to unlocking true strength. Peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken. The Force shall set me free. The Sith code teaches that emotions like anger and hatred can be used as tools to achieve their goals, pushing them to be relentless in their pursuits. Now, with red lightsabers, this is where we see a bigger difference in how Legends and the new canon view lightsaber colors and lightsaber crystals. In Legends, the reason red lightsabers are so standard among the Sith is also practical. Rather than using natural crystals like the Jedi, the Sith often use synthetic ones that produce the red hue. These artificial red crystals are forged through dark side techniques, symbolizing the Sith's rejection of tradition and hunger for power. It also would have a slight advantage over kyber crystals, as it would be a bit more powerful. It's noted that Sith-made synthetic crystals could occasionally break the blade of a Jedi saber. The Sith would channel his hatred and anger into the crystal while it was being made for many days with intense concentration. Side note, Luke in Legends made his green blade with a synthetic crystal in Obi-Wan's hut on Tatooine, but since he channeled his light side Force energies and personality into the crystal as it was formed, he was able to make it green. So when you see that fiery blade ignite, know that it's more than just a weapon. It's a reflection of the Sith's unyielding ambition and their willingness to embrace the darkest aspect of the Force. But now under Disney, the creation of the Crimson Blade is through a different process, known as bleeding. Instead of creating a synthetic crystal and imbuing it with the dark side of the Force, a Sith now must acquire a kyber crystal and taint its light side energy. A Sith in this process needs to use the Force to dominate the crystal, bending it to their will. An intense practice that requires the user to pour all their hatred, anger, and pain into the crystal. However, the crystal will not make this easy and will resist the dark side. We can see this in the new canon when Darth Vader defeats Jedi Master Kurak and Philia. He begins to bleed the crystal, but this leads to Vader experiencing intense visions and pushback. This is not for the weak. It can be very dangerous for those who fail. However, it doesn't always work out perfectly, as we see Kylo Ren's crystal cracked and almost destroyed, with Kylo being conflicted about his path down the dark side. He almost didn't bend the crystal to his will. Crystals can break or explode as a way to prevent itself from being attuned to the dark side, so the user must make sure it dominates the crystal before it gets to that point. This is also why the lightsaber uses a crossguard hilt and the blade looks and sounds different. Since its crystal is cracked, it's spitting out energy and isn't functioning at 100%. I don't know about you guys, but I do like this change on how we get this distinctive red or crimson bladed lightsabers. But don't get me wrong, I love the way from Legends 2, as that highlights other cool ways the Sith get their red blades. I wish they could incorporate both methods in the new canon, as they both have their place in the galaxy. So since we've talked about bleeding in the new canon, it makes sense to explain purifying a kyber crystal. In Star Wars Rebels, and in the times we've seen Ahsoka Tano in live action, she has had 2 white lightsabers. You've probably wondered why and how she has these white lightsabers. They are extremely rare in the galaxy, and only attainable by ridding a red crystal of the rage and pain instilled in it. This is the opposite of bleeding. To purify a crystal, the user must pour light side energy into it. This process is best described in the Star Wars canon comics, Star Wars, in its 35th issue when Luke was in search for new kyber crystals for his new saber. To heal it, you do the opposite. Use the light side in your own joy, and hope to create resonance to offset the pain created by the bleeding. It's not a battle, it's a soothing, a calming, healing. But just like during bleeding, the crystal can resist the purification as well. Ahsoka accomplished this with the 2 crystals she retrieved from the 6th brother's lightsaber following his defeat. It is then stated that the wielder will have a very deep connection and attachment to the now purified crystals. We first technically saw this in the Legends novel Riptide from 2011, during the age of the new Jedi Order. Jedi Knight Jaden Korr purifies his crystal, but it actually turns yellow instead. Since then, the canon has adopted the practice, but changed the resulting color. While there is more we hope to see on this, the only time we've seen it on screen is the non-canon show Vision Season 2, and the episode Ao's Song. While not exactly performed as it's described in canon, it's the closest thing we've seen to purification. Next is another fan favorite. Purple lightsabers might be rare in the Star Wars universe, but when you see one, you know it's unique. These vibrant blades are often linked to nobility, wisdom, and inner strength. The most famous character who wields a purple lightsaber is Mace Windu. As Jedi Master on the Jedi Council, he is one of the wisest and most respected figures in the Jedi Order. But his purple lightsaber isn't just a unique choice, it reflects his complex approach to the Force, balancing the light and dark sides like no other. It's a color that stands out, symbolizing Windu's rare ability to use his wisdom and power for the greater good. Whether you're a Star Wars fan or love excellent details, Mace Windu's purple lightsaber symbolizes something greater, showing that wisdom and strength often come hand in hand. The color purple can symbolize a Jedi who has studied many lightsaber combat forms, including Sith techniques. It can also indicate that the Jedi has a greater understanding of the Force and has found inner harmony, or maybe battles both sides within himself. Windu invented a variation of lightsaber form 7, Chuyo, called Vapad. This form allows the user to channel their inner darkness and use it to their advantage, and therefore is considered the most aggressive lightsaber style, and is known for being extremely difficult. So essentially, I see this as a light side Force user who has knowledge and experience with balancing the dark side, but chooses to use the Force for good. The combination of blue and red makes purple, so you might hear others say the same. With Mace being very strong in the Force and an expert duelist, utilizing some dark side forms as his own, it makes sense for him to utilize a purple one instead of blue. While it is not confirmed, it's a long-standing fan theory. Behind the scenes reason for this is simply Samuel L. Jackson, the actor for Mace Windu, asked George Lucas to make the saber purple so people can notice his character in the Battle of Geonosis in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
To figure out who we had to talk to about your light color, your lightsaber color.
Oh, well, good guys are green and blue, bad guys are red. That's just the way it works.
No purple lights?
You might get purple.
Next, yellow lightsabers are one of the rarer blade colors in the Star Wars universe. They carry a powerful meaning, representing the strength of the sun and the hope for a brighter future. These lightsabers are often seen as a symbol of balance and protection, and wisdom. While yellow lightsabers have been seen in Legends before, they definitely have started to become more popular in recent years. Yellow indicated a Jedi Sentinel, a Jedi who honed his or her skills in a balance of combat and scholarly pursuits. This would mostly be seen by Jedi Temple guards as they donned yellow lightsabers, yellow pikes, or a double-bladed saber. We can see this in Star Wars Rebels Season 2, Episode 18, when Kanan Jarrus fights a Temple guard in a vision. Most notable users of yellow lightsabers in canon are Luke Skywalker, Asajj Ventress, and Rey Palpatine. Luke discovered a yellow lightsaber in the 2020 canon comic Star Wars issue number 6. That was used by a Temple guard before the fall of the Jedi, but the only time we've seen a yellow lightsaber in live action is at the end of Episode 9 when Rey ignites her new saber. This can be in line with previous yellow lightsaber users, as she will be a new teacher to a new generation of Jedi, using the sacred Jedi text she took from Luke in Episode 8. She'll be in a more scholarly role, and very much should be balancing her combat and teaching abilities going forward. Next is orange. Orange lightsabers aren't just cool to look at, but symbolize ambition, creativity, and resourcefulness. These unique colors are rare in the Star Wars universe, making them stand out among the traditional blue, green, or red blades. But otherwise, there is not much on them. Wielders of orange lightsabers are often seen as individuals who think outside the box, combining strategy and power cleverly. Jedi Master Yaddle, for example, is a famous figure who is known for her mastery of this distinct weapon. Her orange lightsaber is a reflection of her calm yet determined nature, as well as her ability to adapt and find creative solutions during intense battles. She used an orange lightsaber in Legends. This was later changed to be green in the new canon. Another Legends character known for wielding an orange blade is the Wookiee Jedi Knight Lobaka from the new Jedi Order era. But I think the most notable users that we've seen with orange lightsabers in canon are Cal Kestis, Balon's skull, and Shin Hati. Cal Kestis builds his orange lightsaber in the game, Jedi Fallen Order, bright orange with a white core. This is more in line with the orange sabers from stories prior. Orange sabers have been in line with Jedi who don't always follow the traditional Jedi path. They're forging their own way with ambition and skill, making them even more fascinating. So like Cal, who survived the Jedi Purge of Order 66, he has a non-traditional path to finishing his training. I also think it's important to mention Balon's skull and Shin Hati from the live-action show Ahsoka, by far my favorite two characters in the show, and I'm so excited to learn more about them and how they survive in Peridia. Also, RIP to Ray Stevenson as well. He made his role as Balon his own and brought a truly amazing performance. But while it's not 100% confirmed, their lightsabers are not truly red as stated by Dave Filoni. When you look at them, they are more of a deeper orange color. I think this could be like the Mace Windu purple lightsaber fan theory. With Balon being a Jedi from the Empire and clearly moving away from the light side in some form, what if his saber reflects that as well? While we don't know all of his motivations and views on the Force, I think his saber color shows that he's not fully dark side, and therefore hasn't been bled to Sith red. But he's definitely leaning to the dark side, whereas Mace Windu leans toward the light and is closer to the blue side of things. And lastly, black. There has only been one black lightsaber in Legends and canon, and it's called the Dark Saber. Famous for its unique look, sound, and history, it became a fan favorite since its first appearance in the Clone Wars episode The Mandalore Plot from 2010. But honestly, there's not much known about the reasoning behind the color of the blade. It was built and wielded by Tar Vizsla, the first Mandalorian to join the Jedi Order around 1050 BBY. Being a leader of Mandalore, the Dark Saber became a symbol of leadership for the Mandalorians. It was passed down through generations, so those who obtain it through victory in combat are deemed a true ruler of Mandalore and its people. It's even stated that the Dark Saber responds to the emotional state of its wielder, growing in size and becoming wild with electrical activity when the handler becomes more agitated. The Dark Saber has a flattened, angled blade that's different from the rounded softness of a lightsaber, a higher pitch hum, and different crystals as the blade can feel heavier to those who don't have a strong enough connection to its crystal. So I think that due to its uniqueness of Tar Vizsla, the Mandalorian war-hungry culture, and the destiny this blade would have for thousands of years, its crystal produced the unique black blade and properties we have come to know. Now, I want to say there are some other colors I didn't touch upon today. Between canon and Legends, there's pink, cyan, indigo, magenta, and many different shades of the colors I went over. All these other colors don't have too much about them worth mentioning, to be honest. They're either rare, have no explanation, or are due to different lightsaber colors that aren't Kyber. So, since we stuck to Kyber crystals, I stuck to the main ones. So that's all for today from your favorite galaxy far, far away. This is all about what every color of a lightsaber means. I'm curious what you think. Did I miss anything important? Are there other colors of characters you think are worth mentioning? Let me know in the comments below. Do like and share the video. For more interesting videos, click the subscribe button on our channel so you never miss a thing in your favorite galaxy. And as I always say, may the Force be with you, always.